30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and uno. Hey, everybody. Whoa, best countdown of the year. Oh, I didn't tell you, Saint. Oh, hold on. I didn't tell you I added the Titus laugh to my soundboard. You know the Titus?
Sounds like titty.
Close. That joke has been done before. But hey, who cares? Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is episode 126 of the Niko Show. Hello. I brought Hispanic diversity to the podcast again.
Oh.
Yeah, I really hate Discord. So why is Discord so bad with like picking up mics and stuff? It's awful.
I do not know, man. I really don't. Is mine too low? Because I could pull it up.
No, you're fine. No, I'm just saying it happens to me too, where the mic will just cut out randomly and all that shit. But you sound fine now.
It's the noise canceling. The noise canceling is trash.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because sometimes it'll take a couple or just a second to hear your voice, whatever, come in. Anyway, episode 126. This is the Niko Show. It's I, Niko. I brought the lovely Saintwolvinn back on the show because guess what? I held her family ransom, and that's the only way she can get back on. So here we are. Saint, I didn't tell you, but now I'm telling you, holding the family at ransom. So, welcome to the show, Saint. Thanks again for being on here. I can't get enough of you. You're a familiar face. You're the celebrity apprentice. You're something special.
Apprentice? I wish, man. I'd be making so much money.
Yeah.
So much moolah.
You fired. So, Saint, we're doing a little something different today, okay? As we talked before, we started recording. And if anybody is watching this or listening, which I appreciate, you will notice that the usual format here is just when I have a guest is do some introductions and then we pretty much dive right into the main topic at hand. But not today. It's going to be something a little added to it. All it is just talking about some gaming news happening around the globe of the gaming globe, and that's pretty much the only thing that's different. Does it add a little bit more padding to the time? Maybe, but that's for you to decide. But before we get into that, I'm Niko. I'm with Saint. Everything you like about us today or don't like, hey, whatever, you're feel free to leave your comments, and then all of our links will be down below. And Saint's taking time out of her day after doing some school stuff to be here, because Saint, I only bring up the best ideas, the best topics for us to talk about. And so I appreciate the...
Exactly. That's exactly why I'm here.
Yeah. I told you, you're filling in the Hispanic diversity gap I need on the channel!
Yeah, it's not the need for diversity in a white man's channel or anything.
No. Can you change yourself to a waifu? That'd be great. Okay.
Yeah. Let me just go to my Let's Be Darker machine, and I'll just be a little darker.
Can you give yourself anime eyes? Just draw an Among Us figurine.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that? How you draw anime eyes? You put the Among Us character in the eyes when they're drawing it.
Dude. Yeah. That's insane.
Every time. Once I figure that out, I literally I can't help but notice that every time an anime is on it, besides Dragon Ball Z, but every other anime almost every other will have that type of oh, that's the Among Us guy in the eyes. Fuck.
The Among Us guy in the eyes. Nice. Just completely ruining anime for everyone. Cool.
Yeah, well, you gotta love the internet. Gotta read right between the anime eye lines, okay?
That is fair.
So, I'm like already out of breath because before we got into this, as Saint was rushing to get on the show, I caved. Okay, Saint, I caved. I started playing Fortnite starting yesterday. See, they got me. They got me with the Dragon Ball Z crossover.
Dude, I'm telling you, they got me with the Naruto one and the J Balvin.
Ah, I bought. I shielded so hard.
But hey, mind you, there is a non-building version now, so like you can.
Oh yeah, that's all we play.
The crappiest shit about the game is the building. I think it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, they took it out finally after many years. So anyway, it's fun. I got a bunch of friends that are playing right now. Who fucking doesn't, right? But it's pretty addicting, of course. They got me with one crossover finally, and now I want to get all the crossover characters that come out, and it's just gonna be, oh boy.
I have a bunch of it, dude. I have Iron Man, I have She-Hulk, I have Storm, I have Naruto.
See?
I have the Kuruma, like glider.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, they got me with Gohan and Piccolo, and then they had the Doom guy out right now, and then Geralt of Rivia from Witcher is gonna be coming back. Anyway. You get what I'm trying to say, folks. That's why if I sound like I'm out of breath, that's the reason. It's all the kicking and screaming, and kicking my wallet out the door. But anyway, if you like Fortnite, let me know who's your favorite crossover character. If not, oh well. Okay, Saint. So we got fun stuff to talk about for the channel. Okay, we're talking. The main topic today, folks, is favorite gaming memories, and I think that's pretty fun to do. It's pretty easy to do, to be honest, because in all honesty, Saint, there's a lot of great gaming memories. But today we're looking for the ones that really stand the test of time in our minds, hearts and minds, and maybe below the belt somewhere. And we're talking about today. So if you're in the chat, if anybody's watching or hearing, and you got something you like to say for your favorite gaming memory, that'd be awesome. Let us know. We'd like to talk about it and see maybe if we have experienced the same thing. Speaking of experiencing the same thing, Saint, remember when we had this list last podcast and we had the same games we were excited about coming out in 2023, like a few of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame.
And you better remember. You better remember. Hey, is the teleprompt on the phone?
Actually, legitimately, yes. I'm trying to put in my gaming memories because I feel like I'm going to repeat them if I forget.
Don't worry, I'll make sure you don't screw up. Just kidding, love you. Die. Okay, so that's the main topic. And so Saint, let's just go right into the things we're going to talk about before the main topic, which the new things is talking about the news-related crap around the gaming globe. So, Saint, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll bite. So Forspoken ass. Straight up booty.
Okay. Whoa, wait, okay. Did you buy it? I don't mean to interrupt.
Fortunately, no. I just looked at the dialogue and I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna keep those $60. Thank you very much. It's just like, okay, so people are just probably gonna do like the whole like, oh my god, it's because it's a woman. No, it's because she's an uninteresting. It's
because she's terrible.
A very different thing. It's because she sucks, and then like, hey, you don't need to be like a woman to suck. You know, like if it was a dude written the same way, it would still be awful. They're just super narcissistic, super rude. The combat is boring. It's super repetitive, so it's not too like interesting. It's just it had potential, but I feel like it just missed out on a lot of marks.
I feel like we watched the same video. Because I watched
Which one?
I don't even remember who did it, but it was like Mr. Matty Plays.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. I didn't watch Mr. Matty.
It pretty much talked about all the things you talked about. Yeah, it's just listen. It's a AAA title. AAA titles for the past I don't know fucking how long, 10 years have been shit mainly. This game. See, here's the problem with this game. You know, it reminds me of like an isekai anime, right? You're like taken from the real world and you're thrown into like a video game world or MMO, right? I love isekai stuff. It's great in anime when it works, right? And we don't really have too many games like that. Like Forspoken. Like I know we have like the Sword Art Online games and Dot Hack games, whatever, but This one's a little different because it literally you start out in the real world and then you get thrown in. But so it's got a neat concept. I will admit, I thought it was kind of neat seeing it when it was first announced because the graphics looked amazing. It's like, oh, okay. A voice actor introduces herself and stuff, and you get to see all this parkour stuff. So it had a lot of potential, you know. But you know, you come to today and you see it now, and it just looks. It just doesn't look interesting. It just looks so bland and nothing like aesthetically pleasing. Nothing to me stands out, and like I don't know how it's like I don't know how you botch such an easy thing. Well, I do know it's because you hire anybody these days to write these games and make these games. But
Essentially.
yeah, it's a Square Enix game. Like, look, okay, have you looked at how many games they released last year? It's fucking astonishing how many games they released last year in like a short amount of time. I don't know why or how, why, when, or it just doesn't make any sense.
Mola. Need that Mola. But I don't know, man. Like, just in general, I feel like it's just a crappy game. Like, it's a mediocre game. Like, the concept is interesting, right? So the concept, like, I feel like if they had explored it differently or they had, I don't know, they had just better ideas to be able to execute it, it would have been a lot better. But to me, it's just the dialogue, man. When I hear that, like, girl just talk, I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, and
Please.
see, here's the part. This is why I hate modern gaming because saying, I hate to say it, but like, I don't know how you enjoy playing any female protagonists in this day and age. Besides maybe Samus Aran, because you know Metroid Dread was great, and I mean, of course she doesn't say too much, but she's still badass, right?
It's good.
That's it.
Horizon Zero Dawn. It's not
Oh,
bad.
don't even get me started on that, Saint. If you played the sequel, you will fucking. They ruin her character so bad in that game. Oh, coming from somebody.
I'm talking about the first one. Second one, I don't know.
The second one just. Oh, they ruined her so bad. But anyway, so this is just proof in the pudding. So, as a woman saying, when you play these new characters coming out, these female protagonists, they try to just make them so unlikable. I don't understand why. It's always the same trope. It's like, oh, I'm a bitch. I have a bitchy attitude. Life sucks. Look how I've gone from rag to riches. Because apparently all the females are just treated like shit, you know, in
Yeah.
these games. Or they go with that same type of everything sucks, fuck you, I don't care. Like just like this stupid edgy personality complex. I don't understand why. You don't have to
Yeah.
do that. What happened to just like clever, sleek, sexy protagonist women? I'm not saying that they all have to be like that, but look at I'm going back to Metroid. She was in a fucking robot suit and it didn't matter. She's just awesome because she's killing shit and she's just getting the job done. She's a bounty hunter. She doesn't need to fucking talk. Look at Tomb Raider and shit. Look at FemShep, for crying out loud, you know?
Fair. That's fair. I feel like, and not ironically, not just in gaming, because I feel like gaming is just one aspect of the whole entertainment part. But I feel like there's this. It's stupid, but there's this thing where it's like the female protagonists are kind of like designed to try way too hard, in the sense that, for example, if it's not a bitchy person, so if it's not just like, oh, I'm too cool for school or some stupid shit.
Oh,
like
I like that. Yeah.
If it's not that, it's, oh, I'm a female, look at me, I'm so empowered. Which, sure, you can, like, a man doesn't say that he's empowered. He just is. You know? Like, you don't need to, like, actively say it or make it a part of the conversation and be like, look, I'm a woman, I am so independent. Like, dude, alright, cool. Like, show it with your acting, show it with, you know, the character development, show it with that. Don't, like, outright just be like, oh my god, women, we are so powerful all together. Like, relax. Like, relax. Like, we know. Like, it's fine, you know? And I feel like, for example, a movie that did that I thought was...
Uh-oh. Saint, I lost you. Oh, crap. Where'd she go? Oh, no, she just got disconnected. Oh, that's not good. Oh, hopefully she comes back on. Okay, well, we'll keep going here. I'll keep the ball running until she comes back. We can't stop now. Hopefully she comes back on. Hold on, let me say something to her. gosh. She'll be back in a second. So, yeah, pretty much what she was saying is that they go with this archetype trope nowadays for the female characters. Movies, games. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's if you have to say that you're this empowered character, you have to spell it out. It doesn't matter if it's male, female. Nobody likes that when you rub it in our face, spell it out, or shove it down our throat. Nobody likes that. You never want to. No one likes an ass. No one wants you to force feed things like that. It's just not important and it's not exciting, right? We just want to see you on the screen doing your thing.
Hi, I'm back.
Oh my God, you're on a phone now?
This utter trash.
Oh, okay, Saint's back on. Everybody, I'm going to give her a round of applause for being back on.
Dude, my computer automatically updates. You fucking trash, Windows.
Okay, well, are you okay though, other than that?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm fine. Like, it's fine. It's just the computer was like, nope. And I was like, what do you mean, no? And then it said updates are installing. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Anyway, yeah, it just pissed me off that, like, just, I don't know, like, women are just, they feel the need to show that they're empowered through, like, vocalizing it in the dumbest, least realistic way versus just showing it. Like, the movie that I was going to talk about was Aladdin.
Yeah.
When, oh my God, when at the end it was like, oh, I'm ripping out the shackles of the pit. I'm like, relax, all right? Take it easy.
Was this the live action one or the animated?
The live action one.
Oh yeah, see the animated doesn't do that.
Yeah, the animated one, but the live action one, it was funny because it was just like randomly just there.
Yeah. Well, it's in movies. I hate it. I liked Endgame. I didn't mind Avengers Endgame until they did that stupid, like, oh, all the females are standing together in the middle of an action sequence. I'm like, you already did all stand together. You already did that before you fight everybody. You don't need to do it again. Oh, Saint, you're playing these musical chairs right now. All right, say something. Oh my gosh. All right. Saint's now back to normal.
I'm back.
Okay. Hey, this is happening all live. Isn't this great?
I'm so sorry. My computer, I don't know why. It was like, I was like, oh, happy. And then I see my camera turn off. And then I see the computer turn off. And I was like, what is happening? But no, it was Windows being shitty.
Hey, you know what?
Windows 11 is great.
I give you kudos for keeping the show going like that by changing hats or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, like you do that with any character, with anything in life. Nobody likes it when you have to explain why you're this cool or doing this thing. Really, you just sometimes it's like actions speak louder than words. But when you have to, force feed it. And speaking of Forspoken, it's not just the character spells it out for you. They also say, "I just leveled up." They literally said it out loud, and I saw the scene in the game. I'm like, this game is fucking awful. Why would they do that?
I just got better.
Yeah, but but she was trying to sound cool when her fucking gauntlet thing talking to her, which I think is a neat concept. She's like, oh, we just leveled up, or I think we just leveled up. It's like, you don't have to say that. Stop. Like, okay, I get where they were coming from because she comes from the real world. She's not originally from the fantasy world. So, yeah, maybe you would say that aloud. But not in this. Just, no, it's just so cheesy and bad. Anyway, it's crazy when you start out as an unlikable character and you end up as an unlikable character. That's like, why? Why do they do this? Because these, like, Square Enix just has so much fuck you money. Like, they don't care that these games lose them money. I don't even know why they approve these projects or don't oversee this shit. Because Square Enix, if they actually cared about how these games were planned out, they would have said no to Forspoken, I bet you, and not have released it. They would have been like, nope, this is trash, it's garbage, fix it, or Yeah, it's being canceled. But they don't. They don't oversee it at all because they're too busy worrying about Final Fantasy bullshit and Dragon Quest. Because those are the things that are making them actual money.
That's fair. That's fair. Like it's just stupid, man. Like to me, it's just like, why? Like just why? Just why make a product that is just eventually gonna fail
$60 or
$60
Wait, isn't it
also.
70 or is it 7?
I think it's 60. I think it's 60. I don't know because I'm not on the PlayStation Store, but on other platforms, it's
Yeah.
60.
Yeah, you know what's it's so embarrassing when you see these fucking gatekeepers, which I hate using that word, but this is how it is these days, on Twitter. They're like, I don't know why people are saying this is bad, this game's pretty good. Y'all need to stop saying this. That's pretty much what they say. I'm like, listen, bro.
You need to stop saying it's bad, even though it's bad.
I need to remind you that you're probably getting paid to say this and you're shilling hard. But if you look, this is who I am saying. A lot of the times when I watch something, when I play something, all I do is just I go with the flow, right? I'm just along for the ride. But if I can't be along for the fucking ride because it's so jarring and glaring on what they're doing, if I can pick up on it, because I'm pretty forgiving, but if I pick up on it, if I can't even get past the sniff test with shit movies or games or music, whatever, that's really bad. Because I'm like the lowest common denominator when it comes to like really giving a shit. But oh my god, Forspoken did not pass the lowest common denominator test with me.
It's not good, and it just and this is and just from like a little like just from like a female perspective, it's just kind of like bullshit. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like, dude, like just for example, show like a Letty Toretto, bro. Show like a Letty. Give
Yeah.
me Letty. Letty is, hey, she doesn't be like, I'm so strong and empowered. She doesn't have to do that. She's a badass, and we all know it. We all saw the movies. You know, give me a Letty in gaming. Give me a Shepard. You know, give me a Lana. But they keep just releasing these like trash. Just like, God, man. Like it sucks because then, like people, I guess companies aren't gonna try hard enough if they notice that the first attempt failed. Which is stupid, but like it just happens. So it's like it's just giving us bad press. Because like at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who might think, and sadly, because people are dumb like that, people might think, oh yeah, this is exactly what women wanted, a really empowered. No, that's not how we see it. We see it as just regular people. We just have really shitty ways of showing it because people don't know how to write. So,
Like
that's what it is.
I like hear me out on this. I honestly, if the main character, like I don't even care what look, shape, color, race. I don't like.
Doesn't fucking care.
I don't care if the character's not likable. That's all that matters to me. Okay.
Yeah.
If I don't look up to like I knew this character was gonna be shit. The Forspoken character from the get go. Because I just no, just I like what you said in the beginning. I heard the voice lines and everything, and her talking. It was awful. It was awful. It was awful. One more time, awful. So, yeah, and they want to charge you $70 for that. But speaking of AAA titles, you know, we talked about last podcast, one of the games we're excited about that is a AAA title that I actually but well, I'm cautiously optimistic because it's still AAA. It's the Harry Potter game coming out, right? Hogwarts Legacy. Because those guys who are making the game, they actually they know source material. They've had experts fucking Harry Potter experts come on to the development team and help them out on all that shit, you know, so they get it right. And it looks interesting. At least from my perspective, I'm the most casual Harry Potter person ever. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there compared to what I saw for Forspoken. It was just bad. And that's how it is with a lot of games. It's like I have to do I seriously have to read hieroglyphic. I have to solve star constellations. I have to give blood type just to figure out if this game's good or not, you know, with games releasing. It's crazy.
It shouldn't be that way. Like it's insane because like if you look at like what you said earlier, like if you look at the latest like AAA titles that have released, they have either been bad, they have been insanely incomplete, or full of fucking bugs. And it's like, dude, like how do you have the audacity? So it's literally like me saying like, you know what, I'm gonna sell you this wheel. I promise it'll be a car. I promise you. I'm selling you this wheel for the whole cost of a car. But I promise you it's going to be a car eventually. Like, I'll send you the parts. Like, no, dude. Give me the fucking car. If you're charging me for a car, give me a car. Don't give
No.
me the fucking wheel.
Oh, sorry, it's still in the factory being built.
Yeah, it's on factory. Yeah, trust me, man. Trust me, bro. Trust me.
Okay.
It'll make its way. Like the fuck.
So yeah,
So stupid.
Forspoken is just a prime example of just bad AAA marketing and all that shit. And being tone deaf, Square Enix is really tone deaf right now.
It really is.
The thing is about Square Enix, before we can segue to the next game or the next article, which does talk about another gaming franchise, but well, now I forgot what I was gonna say. So we'll just go on to the next one. Okay.
Nice.
So we were talking about AAA titles and companies. Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about. So Square Enix knows that they know they're losing money in those games that have just been not performing well. The only reason why they're making a lot of money is because they're milking Final Fantasy hardcore. That's why Final Fantasy VII, that franchise, has had more games than the past 10 years of Final Fantasy games releasing, and done in like a year span or 2 years, thanks to the 7 remake, the mobiles versions, the movies, just whatever. It's just all this fucking milking cash cow re-releases. It's embarrassing. It's just an embarrassment of riches, but they're just that greedy. They like the taste of that greedy shotgun. So what do I know? So welcome, Chibo. How are you? Welcome, Pesti.
Oh, there's a Chiba. I can't see for shit.
Yeah, Chibo, appreciate it. Yes, he's joining the baby podcast of the Niko show. How is it going? Welcome. So all the memes about Hogwarts games are great. Oh yeah.
Female Shepherd Giga Chad. I like.
Now I'm tempted to try it too. Yeah, well, I'm tempted too. Man, this is the first official like Harry Potter game that's not Harry Potter characters in it. You know, all the other games were movie tie-ins. This is like its own standalone, which is cool. And it looks pretty damn fun. I'm excited to try it. So, we were just done talking about our first whatever gaming thing around the globe that we wanted to mention. So appreciate it, Saint. Now the second one is for me. Let's talk about 343. Okay, that was a big thing that happened. Oh, and then obviously that's tied into the Microsoft layoffs that happened recently too.
Super lost, so this is gonna be news to me. I haven't checked it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just narrow down the focus a bit. So Halo is pretty much dead, the Halo franchise. To a lot of people, the companies will say it's not dead. They said they keep going with production, but pretty much Microsoft laid off a bunch of employees, especially at 343, a lot. Okay. They really don't have anyone steering the ship right now, but they say that they're going to keep making stuff. Well, they say they're going to keep continuing Halo adventures, but guess what? They're no longer using that Slipspace engine. They're using the Unreal engine now. So, yeah, exactly, right? But at the same time, at this point, when you lay off all these employees, when 343 fucking murdered Halo for me for the past decades, starting from Halo 4, it's just like, who cares at this point? You fucked it up. It's all dead. Microsoft, Xbox, you guys don't fucking care about the gamer anymore. And I'm not just trying to just sound like an echo chamber here or whatever. I'm serious. Like, ever since the Xbox One came out, they started going downhill. It was always about the TV stuff, the Xbox Connect, less about the gamer and the video games. And then they thought, oh, Phil Spencer's here. Look at me. Backwards compatibility. Oh, wow, you're banking off nostalgia. That's going to win you the big bucks. Oh, look, you have your Xbox Game Pass. Wow, that's just still banking off nostalgia and then face value shit. There's still no power to the players because they don't own the fucking games. Well, I mean, they have a choice to buy it if they want to pay for subscription. They like the game and all that. But at the same time, nah, why would I want to do that when I can just pay $1?
I mean, they could also just buy the older games though.
But here's the thing, and then Microsoft, the Xbox Series X, the Halo game was supposed to be their flagship title. Let me tell you this: the franchise is so dead. Halo Infinite was such a flop that the box for the for the Xbox Series X used to have Halo on it. Now it has fucking Starfield. That's how you know they don't give a fuck about resurrecting the Halo franchise or keeping it afloat. They don't care. They moved on. They're cutting their losses. So it's ridiculous. So now back to the Halo stuff. I wouldn't say it like heartbreaks me because it's a fucking video game franchise, but it makes me very disappointed because I've been playing Halo since Halo 1 came out. And same thing with everybody else in the world. They started with all these great Halo games when they were younger. I hate the people that had to start with Halo 4 through 6. But at this, like, when you get to this point when they just, like you were saying with games that just come out with nothing in it, just the wheel, that's what Halo Infinite was. It's like they were trying so hard to reboot Halo and they just flopped. And it just flopped.
I've never, and this is, people are going to be like, you ignorant swine, but I bought the collection. I tried to play Halo 1. I got to a certain point, which was not very far ahead. And, like, I get why people might, like, be nostalgic about it and stuff like that. Here's my thing with flagships, though. Like, I feel like having had most of the consoles and, like, the options to play a game in, or at least half of them, I feel like, to me personally, I don't give a damn about flagships. I care more about, like, playability on that console or on that platform. So, like, if on that platform I'm able to play a wider variety of different games, right? Let's say I'm able to play previous games that I wasn't able to play before, on, like, or older games, or, you know, stuff like that, or, like, kind of like quality of life stuff. To me, flagships is like, okay, like, cool, like, I got this exclusive game, but, like, nowadays I feel like exclusives became a lot less important because they're timed rather than permanent exclusives. So, like, I can't get the Sly Cooper franchise on a PC, right? But I can get Horizon, but I can get Uncharted. And the same thing happens to on Microsoft's side. So it's kind of like, you know? I understand on the Halo side, I do think it's bull that they've just completely, like, just essentially fucked them over. But I don't know. Like, personally, I think, like, I think something that would bother me more is just seeing how, like, a beloved franchise just becomes trash. Because I feel like it happens with a lot of developers, and now that Microsoft was just like, nah. It was just with Halo, it's like, nah, we're good. We got another moneymaker now. We got Bethesda. You don't have to worry about those nasty Halo makers.
Yeah, and we're at a time with gaming to where there's really no power to the players unless there's some rare exceptions, right? Nintendo still makes good games, in my opinion. They still say what you will about Nintendo and their strict, you know, copyright and all this other emulation crap, whatever.
Consoles.
Yeah, their consoles are always a generation behind ever since the GameCube, or ever since the Wii came out. But they still made games that were console sellers. You know, they still made games that remind you of your childhood. For example, mine was Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. You know. Don't fix what isn't broken. Sony kind of gets that idea because they do still release pretty damn good games, like God of War is an example. Spider-Man is great. These are just my opinion. You can say the Ratchet and Clank games that come. I'm talking about like PS5 stuff that's come out as of late. You know, whatever. You know, they still have games that sell them consoles, you know, like God of War Ragnarok sold so many fucking copies in like a week or two or something like that, and just, you know, fucking go back one generation before, they still haven't put Bloodborne on PC or on the next PlayStation console, but that game was selling them fucking consoles like crazy. So anyway, my point is I'm trying to make is that these developers, these companies, they don't see that anymore. They're just like you said. They moved on from the Halo, and they're now Starfield's the next fucking pinata that we're gonna just shake out whatever they have left out of their buggy ass fucking games that they always make. But still fun. And it's very, very sad because these big companies. I don't know whether you believe it or not. To me personally, I loved the original Xbox. I loved the Xbox 360. I think we all have great memories on those consoles in some shape or form. I don't think you know need to deny it because hey, they gave a shit. They gave a shit. They hired teams that gave a shit about giving a shit about making games.
Fair.
Xbox was, yeah. I mean, we're just at that point now. We're just at that fucking point where it's just all about just no, it's just all style and all no substance. You know, it's all about the style points and just the initial sales, right? If it just gets the initial sales, if it gets, because everybody's gonna keep buying a fucking Call of Duty game because we're all fucking retarded. We're gonna keep buying the next Final Fantasy. We're gonna buy the next fucking Mario game, Zelda game. It doesn't matter. As long as it gives them that dollar, they don't care.
Fair. Just as a quick pause, I really like the comment that says, "I will die sooner than Elder Scrolls 6 will come out."
Yeah.
Which is fair. I think we will all just see our own graves from the great beyond before we see Elder Scrolls 6. 1.
I was.
2.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a question for you because I feel like there's two sides to this, like, you know, to this debate. Because
Is it a debate?
I don't think it's not a debate really. It's kind of like just a thing that's happening, and some people might think one way and some people might think another. But it's not.
I'm just shooting the shit here, but yeah, go ahead.
So on one hand, there is less power to the player in the sense that, yeah, we're getting crappier games, they're taking longer, and when they take longer, it's not usually worth the wait, and ends up being like, oh, cool, 6 years for trash, for booty. That's all we waited for, right? Our favorite franchises are all just passing away because the developers just end up fucking them over too. So they fuck them up, and then we're just like, okay, oh well, our favorite franchises went to shit. However, the other side to that is that, to an extent, I do believe that there is more power to the player, in the sense that there's also, like, yes, there are less quality games, but they are easily playable in more places.
Yeah.
So it's a weird mix, because, okay, mind you, like, yeah, I think you're right. Like, hey, you know, Microsoft started as the competition for PlayStation, right? The American dream
Yeah.
in a gaming console, and,
Woo.
you know, now they are what they are. So my question to you is, like, how do you feel with that? Like, with that specifically, like, do you think that, are we, like, is it shitty, like, the direction we're going necessarily, or do you think it just has pros and cons, and some of the cons aren't worth it, or some of them are?
Hey, you're on my show. I asked the fucking questions here. Just kidding.
Nah, fuck you.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die. So
Still
your question was, do I like where the direction of gaming is going?
Like, how do you feel about it? Like, with those pros and cons, like, are you pro it, or are you just like, sure, it's cool, but we should be better in these areas?
Listen, I'll go back to the days of yore, back to the Super Nintendo, N64, early PC days, any fucking day of the week. Listen, hear me out on this. If every generation after the PS2, the original Xbox, and the GameCube just melted, just blew up, we couldn't play it anymore, all we had was the older consoles, I'd be okay. In fact, I'd probably be really happy. You know, I'd be like, okay, well, I played as much as I could. I'll go back and play all the fucking greatest games of all time that came out in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. No sweat off my fucking back, although we won't have Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but I'm just saying.
Or Mass Effect?
Why would have Mass Effect? Nope. It's fine, trust me. Because I grew up in the era where games were fucking hitting the mark of badassery, you know, and I grew up in a time where, I had two older brothers. I was surrounded by an Atari, an original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PC, you know, I was playing all those fun games like Counter-Strike, Unreal Tournament. I don't know if you ever heard the game Tries, whatever, right? Halo. It doesn't matter. Like, I was having the best times of my life. And I'm not saying I didn't have great times later on in life, past the generations that I said would go away. But hey, I may have been a kid and I was probably experiencing all these cool gaming worlds for the first time. But that is so rare for me to feel that anymore. And the only game that has come the closest has been on the Nintendo console, which was Zelda Breath of the Wild when that came out back in 2017. It was a game that, like, no joke, reminded me of the good old days of playing games and not knowing what to expect, or because it was just such an ambitious game for me to experience, you know, because it's like, whoa, I mean, shit, I've seen an open world game countless times, but this game fucking did it different. I don't know, it just hit differently for me. I don't know if it was like that for everybody else, but hey, it's great in general. It's great to find those games nowadays that do give you that rare feeling that just doesn't fucking exist anymore. I have to have a fucking target on my back before I make a purchase on any games these days, because if I make a wrong choice, my wallet fucking shoots me in the dick. you know, I have to do fucking research now. I don't trust any of these motherfuckers anymore. Besides maybe a few companies, like maybe Obsidian and Nintendo and all that.
Fair.
But
That's a shame. That's fair.
But before, it's like I knew Halo. Going back to the Halo topic, I knew Halo 1 was gonna be fucking awesome. I knew Halo 2 was gonna be fucking awesome. I knew Halo 3 was gonna be fucking awesome because I saw the passion. I saw the love of the franchise they were making. Nowadays, it's just fuck all. Just fuck all you. Just bury it. Kill these franchises because we don't give a fuck. Yeah. Anyway, I think my point's been made. But yeah, to really answer your question, it's like, I trust me, I like accessibility too. I like seeing old games be brought back in an HD remastered light to just kind of preserve it. I appreciate some companies that still do that, and the ones I bitched about still do that. Like Square Enix does that with certain old games. Because, they do get a golden goose egg once in a while, and I'm not going to complain about that, but that's still not, it's just one piece of the fucking puzzle. The whole puzzle sucks. Modern gaming sucks. And for me, it's all about ownership. Like, hey, yeah, whatever, gaming boomer all day, baby. Like, I will always own a book instead of reading it on a Kindle. I always own physical media. Physical media is so fucking important to me that because I want ownership. I don't want this digital licensing to be the only thing that is the only way I can get, or these subscription-based services or streaming. Fuck that noise.
So what about GOG?
GOG, they're CD Projekt Red, so I have a mixed bag with them. But at least they're DRM free for
Like, aside from it being CD Projekt Red, like, to me, so I grew up in a weird moment where it was like it was all ownership. Like, you didn't have any DLC. Like, you either got it or you didn't get it, period. Your game was good or it sucked. That was it. Period.
Yeah,
and it was a really simple time because you only had to see one review. It's like, oh, it's a good game. You're not going to see, like, oh, it's an incomplete mess. You're not going to see that because the game wouldn't have been released. And then we got into this whole, like, DLC thing where everything was money. And now, oh, it's okay to release incomplete games because we have updates. That's so cool. Like, that's bullshit. And I agree with you fully on that. I think that's just, it's ass. You should, if you buy a product, you should get the full product, period. You shouldn't be having to deal with all this BS. You know, or if there is some BS to deal with, because hey, back in the day, some games had their bugs too. Like, at least they're minimal. Like, don't make them like a whole thing like what CD Projekt Red released in Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk, and it's one of my favorite games ever. But this is after years it released. Oh, so it's like, why? At least they made an effort in fixing it. Most companies don't do it. Most companies are like, oh, here's my buggy mess. Oh, you didn't like it? Well, we're going to drop it. And it's like, that's some bull. The thing I do like about it is that I also grew up in the era where the ecological part was important, and you get taught about all that at school. They talk to you about it every day, all day. It's all about, hey, the planet, whatever. And I do think it is a more friendly way, ecologically friendly way to have your shit on your computer. I don't think that it should be all licensing though. I think that, hey, if you wanted to download your fucking game onto its DVD or whatever, if you really wanted that, you should be able to because it's your damn game.
Yeah, I agree.
But pirating is what it is, right? And that's kind of the reason why it all moved to licensing, because it was easier for them to avoid pirating. But still, like, I agree with you in that regard. Like, I think that there should be more to protect the owner of the game. Like, if it is a license, hey, have rights to it for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah. Here's the thing. With
servers and stuff like that also doesn't help.
One of the main reasons, and I told my friend this, my good friend Dayton, that I've known for a long time now. I told him because he would always buy digital media and stuff these days, and I told him, like, dude, I buy physical. This is like the main reason. Hear me out. It sounds crazy, but hey, crazy shit has happened before. I buy physical media mainly because they can never take it away from me, ever. Think about it like this scenario. Any day, anytime, these motherfuckers can just shut off their servers. They can just, the company just stops being a company. Say goodbye. All the stuff you own digital that has to be connected online, all the subscription services, all that, gone. You don't have any more you don't have any more consumer control with digital stuff, because the licensing has to always be connected online for you to play it, really, because that's the only way to get it. And then once it's gone, it's gone. You know, there's always some online functionality with digital stuff, unless you specifically download it like to something else, or if you know for sure you legit own it. But these companies, they can just pull the plug anytime they want. I'd be okay because I own this shit on physical. I can still put it in. I can still read this book. I can still play this game, watch this movie. So call me paranoid, whatever. It's like the gaming media existential crisis guy here. But I'm just saying it's possible, And I'm not going to let them. I'm not going to let them take away that freedom from me.
Fair. But man, yeah, I get it. Like it's fair.
I went an extreme measure here. Okay, so not everybody's going to do that.
Yeah, like, I think it's fair. Like, it's fair in the sense that the way licensing currently works and the way this whole DRM free thing is not common enough to be able to be like, okay, I feel comfortable downloading digital media because I know that I could put that shit on a hard drive. I could put this shit on a USB or some insanely big USB for some reason.
Yeah, I could play Doom on a fridge.
I could play Doom on a fridge, yeah. Like, because yeah, sure, it's not physical, but you own it, right?
Yeah.
But I understand your point. Like, I'm the kind of person that honestly don't care too much. Like, once I decided to move to the platform I currently have, I knew for a fact I was just completely leaving physical media because sadly, like, there's no physical media for computers, right? You either download it or you don't have it. Or you play an older game that might be physical, but that means that you need to get like a DVD thing, which isn't common either. So
not as much.
Like, I kind of gave up on it at some point, but I do understand wanting like that ownership. I feel that the whole licensing thing, like, I get why it's bullshit. Because like at the end of the day, you don't own something. You're kind of like renting it indefinitely.
That's why
until they decide to like fuck you over, and then you're like done.
Yeah.
And sadly, now we're all moving towards that, and nothing is DRM free, so there's no way to meet in the middle. Like I probably feel like you would probably be more comfortable with digital media if it was all DRM free and you could download it on a hard drive or whatever, and it's yours and that's it.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, And like honestly, like I'm the kind of person that I don't have the space to keep 200 games, and honestly, I know I wouldn't play them. So I just get an old console, and I just turn that baby on and buy a bunch of old games because those are usually the ones I want to rerun.
Yeah, and like I said, I do buy games digitally. I'm not saying I'm completely against it, but like you said, pros and cons, and that's just always been a me thing. I just like holding it in my hand because that's how I know. Opening it.
A little wrap? Ooh,
yeah.
That wrap
you just can't beat it. Why do you think it'll... I started collecting Pokemon cards since last November again.
Uh-huh.
And it brought back that old feeling of just getting cards in a booster pack and opening them up. It's the same fucking thing. So it's a feeling that I never want them to take away. So did I answer the question at all?
You did. Halo's gonna die, and gaming as well. That's kind of the conclusion of what we just talked about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a little. We talked about the gaming topics, and then I appreciate the questions, Saint. So appreciate good times. Got a little dark there, which is okay. Don't take Chibo's UFO porn stash away. So now let's talk into something what the title of the show is today on episode 126. Are you laughing still?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. I know. Chibo can be a pretty funny guy. Losing my Steam account would kill me, yet in the end, I would be set free. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, like I said, if Pat's the GameCube generation, the Wii generation, the Xbox One, the Wii, and the PS3, if that got all destroyed, whatever. I mean, that's around the time Steam was invented, really. And I'd be like, all right. I was fine before without it. So, The main thing we're talking about today, we're going to talk about some fun stuff. So we're talking about greatest video game memories or gaming memories, doesn't matter. With Saint and I, pretty much we just listed whatever random gaming memories we have that really made us like, haha, all warm and fuzzy inside, good times. That they still stand the test of time. So if you have any, if anybody's still listening out there or hear this on audio or watching the stream right now, appreciate it. Let us know what your greatest gaming video game memories are, because I like to hear it and talk about it. So, Saint, I will start with this one since you started on the gaming topics before. You okay with that? Of course you are. So, you ready? You ready for this gaming memory?
Super ready. No, it's coming from you, so I don't know if I'm actually ready.
Yeah, I don't think you are ready.
When I fucked my Xbox, I was like, what?
Yo, I stuck my dick in a box. It was an Xbox. What? Oh shit! I'm going.
This creator just did it like nobody else.
I'm going to jail. Oh, and Titus is laughing right now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't interrupt Titus. Okay.
What is it?
So, this is this may sound like a cop-out answer, but it's my first video game that I've ever played. Boom!
Lame.
Well, it really helped me become a good gamer. Or
that's fair.
A better gamer? I don't know. Good at playing games, not sucking, get good. I don't fucking know. But, okay. The first game I ever played, we're starting all the way back in Niko's little baby life. So, I started remembering everything in my life at the age of 4, okay? I just remember just waking up out of bed one morning, I'm like, la 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 la, and I knew exactly where I was going. Everything was so fucking weird, still freaks me out to this day. Then I'm like, it just all of a sudden I just started remembering things, and before it was just all programmed. I knew exactly where to go. It's fucking wild, right? So, the first game I remember playing once memory started kicking in at the age of 4 was one of the most... But one of the most difficult gaming franchises out there, and it was on the original Nintendo, it was Mega Man 3. And listen, I don't know if you played Mega Man before, Saint. If anybody's out there who's played the old school Mega Man on the original Nintendo, maybe Super Nintendo, those games aren't easy, okay? In fact, really anything on the original Nintendo is not fucking easy. Not even Mario's that easy. So, yeah, it was crazy. You would think it'd be Mario with Duck Hunt, right? Because I did have that game, of course. Everybody who had original Nintendo had fucking Mario or Zelda. But it was not that. It was the Blue Bomber. It was Mega Man 3. This was my first gaming experience in great memories because this game was hard as shit. And I was 4 years old to this day still playing these old Mega Man games and Mega Man in general. The game, I remember, just was so fucking hard that I had, like, I don't even know what I was doing, right? Because at that point, it was like my first difficult game like that. I don't know, who the fuck is this guy in a blue suit, robot, killing, shooting things and all that. But hey, I thought it was cool as shit concept. You beat robot masters, bosses, you get their powers and stuff, and the music was great and all this shit. Fucking Mega Man. And now... that was just one example of a difficult game, but Mega Man helped me just get used to the learning curve, because nowadays it's all about hand holding. At that time of the fucking gaming cycle, there was
practice, my guy.
There was
sharpen those skills.
It was not. Oh yeah, it's like you started out with a dull sword, and then you had to fucking sharpen that. Like never mind. And it was just trial by fire every time. And you know what? I love that about games. And that game really set the tone for me. And then, of course, after Mega Man 3, I was kind of just... my brothers and I, we had an original Nintendo and an Atari, like I said before. We got Super Nintendo real close to that time, too. So I was kind of bouncing back and forth between a bunch of games and stuff. But Mega Man 3, I always came back because it was so difficult. It was so fucking hard. And I couldn't... here's the thing. I couldn't beat the game when I was that young. I just was not good enough. I'd be able to beat all the regular bosses, and then once you get to the final levels, I just couldn't fucking do it. It was so fucking hard.
Oh man, that's sad.
But I kept trying down the line, down years, and it wasn't until I was an early teenager where I actually beat it for the first time, and I like lost my fucking mind when that happened because it was like it was a long ass mission for me. You know, it just took some maturity, some ball hair, and I finally did it. But Mega Man is it became one of my favorite franchises. Mega Man 3 is in my like top favorite games. Mega Man X, which came out on the Super Nintendo, is in my top 3 favorite games of all time because that's a game that I always go back to playing every once in a while because it is such a fucking good time. It's a perfect game to me. That holy shit, how could it not be one of my starting greatest gaming memories? Is the christening of Niko's gaming whatever journey, you know? And to this day, yeah, to this day, like I said, I could just pop it in and just play it and still have a great time, you know? Shit. For my Let's Play channel, a good friend of mine in RL, he was playing one of his favorite games, and it was a Mega Man game. It was Mega Man 2. And he's like, I remember everything. And I'm like, when's the last time you played it? Oh, I don't know, about like 10 years ago. Still fucking remembered everything. It was fucking nuts. Anyway, so that's my first greatest gaming memory is playing the first game, which was Mega Man 3.
It's fair.
You keep saying it's fair. Of course it's fair.
Because it's fair, you know? I've heard good things about Mega Man. That's before my era.
It's not even about good things. It's just me just enjoying the first game.
It's a nice memory, okay? What do you want me to say?
I just gave you an applause.
God, I'm just gonna take a big doo-doo on your fucking childhood memories here. I'm not gonna do that.
Promise?
But I haven't given Mega Man a shot. Honestly, like, I tried Mario on one of those, like, new Super Nintendos, like the mini ones.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just absolute trash at it. I am absolute trash. Because I didn't grow up in the 2D era. I grew up in the 3D era, which was still very low poly, but it was still 3D. So if you give me a 2D game, I'm not great. I'm really not that good.
Yeah. Same. Before you start, hey, if anybody sees the stream hiccuping, I'm just having some frame drops. So if it's completely dead, just let me know in the chat or someone or Saint if you see the stream die. Actually, I'm watching the stream right now. All right. Anyway, carry on.
Also, just so you know, like, I'm just looking for cheese to order. Because I have some Colombian, like, food thing that goes well with cheese. And I can't find good cheese on the website. I'm looking.
Are you making a fart joke?
No, it's legitimate, like, it's legitimate cheese.
This fucking chick right now shopping for cheese while she's on a show. Oh, man.
Wait.
The audacity.
Look at my cheese.
I don't want to look at...
I'm getting cheese. Because it'll take too long and I can't drive to Walmart, okay?
It's okay.
I want cheese and milk. Because I don't have cheese or milk. Anyway.
All right, bring it on. What's one of your great gaming memories? Woo!
Well, you put me in a nostalgic mood, so I'm going to change the one I was thinking about.
That's what it's all about, though. How could it not be nostalgic?
Yeah. I say... It is... Was it the first game I played? It probably is.
Oh, that kind of, okay.
See, that kind of nostalgic. So, I didn't actually own a console until much later. Like, it's similar to your brother's story, except I didn't have a brother. I had an uncle that lived with me.
Oh.
So, he had a PlayStation 1, and he would be at work most of the day. So, when I got back and he wasn't there, I would just play on his PlayStation 1. And he had Crash Bandicoot Warped on it. I'm pretty sure it was just because of me that he had. But... I remember that I sucked at that game too. Like, I was way too young for that. Again, like, same thing, ironically. Like, I just remember a moment where I just woke up and shit started making sense when I was like 4. So I don't know if everyone has that shared just moment where it's like your earliest memory is like, oh, I woke up. Oh, cool. I'm existing in this world and I'm aware of my existence. But so I used to go to his room and play Crash until he got home, or he got tired of me and he kicked me out. But I remember I sucked at that game, man. I used to try so hard to finish the levels, and I never got past like maybe 2. Like those like 4 or 5 different like little worlds, and each one had like maybe 5 or 10 levels, or 6. I don't know how many levels it had. Oh, like little. I don't know. You know, like 4 worlds, 5 worlds, 7 to 10 levels each.
Yeah.
Right? And I never actually finished the game until maybe I was like 19. And I downloaded an emulator on a Mac that I had. and I was like, we're gonna get through this. I will beat this game. And I beat it, and I felt so proud because like that shit, it went on, and I never really finished it. And I was so proud because like now I got the skills, bro. These 14 years of gaming skills right here, just on display, and I was very proud about it. I never bought the Insane trilogy, which I kind of feel bad about, but it's alright. I'll survive.
Yeah,
I'll be fine.
you know what's crazy is that the first Crash game is notoriously known to be just fucking over the top difficult because Naughty Dog didn't really know what they were doing at first. They were
Yeah,
just kind of
I've heard.
They were kind of experimenting pretty hard, but what company doesn't do that? I do have the remastered trilogy and stuff, and
Nice.
I can't get behind Crash. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just such a Mario stan.
I'm kidding. Why? Why
I
is
don't
it?
know. I think
Nintendo? Maybe.
no. It's I like Crash as a character because he's goofy as shit looking, but or just a goofy dude. But I think just the way the levels are done and how you platform and stuff. I don't know. I just
Seems unnatural to the boomer. No, I feel you though, because like when you put a Mario game in front of me, like an actual OG Mario game, I just can't get behind it. Even though like it's somewhat entertaining, but I can't get behind it. I feel like you kind of just grow up with that kind of like map or that kind of like platforming, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
it just feels weird to like stray away from it. Or when you do, it just kind of feels like, I don't like
Well,
this.
yeah, I remember the hardest part was just knowing the trajectory of the jumps because the way the camera angle was,
It was awful.
yeah, it really fucked. It's like I just suck at Crash.
Just suck at
I
Crash.
just
Honestly, fair.
I just suck at Crash. I just can't do it. And this is a guy who fucking just talked about playing Mega Man 3 as his first fucking video game and then beating it eventually. And, just couldn't do it. Hey, Waldar, what's up, dude? Welcome to the channel.
Well, greatest gaming moment is when Skyrim was released. But yeah, it changed our lives. That anniversary edition was woo fishing. I'm sorry.
Say anything else to add to the crash memory?
Not really. Like I just really
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and the
Yeah.
satisfaction of finishing that game 14 years later or 15 years later it was amazing.
Yeah, sometimes I agree with you. Sometimes it takes that long.
Gotta come back to it when you got them skills, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
Ugh.
games back in the day required you to have fucking kahunas, some
What?
some balls,
Yeah, some nice cojones.
some huevos.
My internal whales were
Yeah.
they were just underdeveloped. That's
Yeah.
why I couldn't pass.
I'm still underdeveloped. Yeah.
Oh.
Nowadays it's a lot of hand holding. I mean, there's still some really difficult games. Don't get me wrong, but man, you really had to learn from your mistakes. That's why people still really appreciate the Dark Souls and Bloodborns and all that stuff. Because they retain that sense of that skill curve and all that stuff, and you just have a good time doing it. And the challenge it's all about the challenge. But there's a time and place for everything. Except back in the day on those old consoles, that was the time and place for everything. It was how difficult the fucking games were, especially on the original Nintendo or Super Nintendo. But shit.
Nice.
Okay,
I feel you.
so I will start with the next greatest game memory. Well, let me give you a plus, Saint, for that memory. Good job.
Okay, the star.
Are we talking about greatest memories of all time? Yeah, just greatest memories that you have of gaming. You can just list them if you want. So Saint and I are kind of trading back and forth late in the show here. So my next one is pretty special because I think as a lot of us can enjoy that too. Is well, all I did was just put Nintendo 64 in my list because that was the first time I ever owned a console. Did I pay my own money? No, because I was not able to work yet. I was so the N64 came out in '96. I didn't get it until '97. So I got it on my birthday, and let's see, I was probably 6 or 7 years old. But let's see, 7. Yeah, 7, 6, 7, whatever, 8, whatever. Fuck it. I can't do math right now.
An age.
Yeah,
That was
an age of adolescence and before puberty.
6 or 7. Adolescence. Damn, you hit that early.
I'm just look. I was already becoming an adult.
Yeah, I had pubes when I was 4.
Yeah. Ugh, gross. So the N64 was the first console that I owned, and I got it on my birthday. I remember I was kind of the spoiled kid growing up compared to my brothers. My brothers did a lot of hard work around this fucking farmland we lived on, along with this big ass house, right? This creepy old big house. So my parents kind of went easy on me with doing fucking child labor. That's pretty much what.
Nice.
Like my dad was fucking insane about that. You don't even want to know the darkness behind it. But I didn't know I was getting one, the N64, but I fucking wanted it because holy shit, Super Mario 64 looked fucking awesome. But they came out in '96. I couldn't get it. In fact, I never got Super Mario 64. I got something else that was way fucking better. It's when I became a furry. My brother told me the day of my birthday that I was getting the console, and he's like, "Oh, act surprised." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you couldn't just let me be surprised like 2 seconds from now?" Because that's pretty much what happened. I remember I was in my parents' room, and then my parents told me to wait in the room while they get the gift or something. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I could have been beaten for all I know. But my brother was like, "Okay, don't be surprised, but they got you the console." I'm like, oh my God. So he's like, you should go out there and scream like a girl when you get it. And I pretty much did scream like a little girl when I got it.
Nice.
And dude, it was, oh my God. I was like the N64 kid, the meme N64 kid during the Christmas, gift unwrapping when he got it. That was pretty much me on my birthday in October, right? Of 97.
Oh, yeah.
90 fucking 7. And it was the bundle. It was just the regular black console. It came with a Rumble pack, but it came with Star Fox, dude. Star Fox 64. Oh,
Isn't that the guy that has like a bunch of animal friends and they just
yeah, it got furries, slimes, and birds.
Oh yeah. Everything you want in a game.
So this was my console. This was given to me. First game was Star Fox 64, and I can't tell you how many fucking hours I played that console. Oh my God, dude. GoldenEye had it for the N64. Star Fox, Zelda, Mario Party, Mario Kart, just a lot of big wrestling. Fuck, man. And renting so many games for that console, too. I still have the N64 console. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. It was a great fucking time. Now, this kind of goes and ties in with the greatest memory. One of them is, again, the N64, because it is one of my favorite consoles, was getting to own Zelda Ocarina of Time, okay?
Okay.
I never owned, this is like my first Zelda game too, so it just kind of goes hand in hand. Never owned Link to the Past. We had the first Zelda, but that wasn't mine. But Ocarina of Time was this game I was following, and I remember seeing the commercial. I was just fucking blown away by it. And then when I got that game, that's the fucking game. I mean, it's in my top 3 games of all time. That's the fucking game where I was just like so glued to it. It's one of those games where you get up in the morning before school starts and you play for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then you get home, you play some more, and then you play some more, and then you play some more. By the time I was done with that game, I must have beaten it like a bazillion times. I knew everything where everything was, right? Blah, blah, blah. I would make, as a kid, I had a wild imagination, right? Big surprise. Now you know where it comes from, right? I would just make up my own fucking adventures in that game. That's how much that game, like, just blew my mind when I was playing it as a kid. On the N64 that I own, and then I was just like, now I think about it, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't do this with games anymore. But seriously, yeah, I would make my own adventures in those Zelda. And it's not like there's like a fucking mod tool set where I put assets in it or something, that type of create, or like a map editor. No. This is just me running around and just being like, okay, I'm gonna go to this castle and slay these enemies and then talk to this guy, and like I was playing like my own like LARP Zelda or some shit. It was crazy. Anyway, that's the N64. Played the GoldenEye, played the Mario Party, played the Zelda, played the Star Fox. Just all these fucking multiplayer games. I would play it solo, have a great time. Shit. and I'll never fucking trade that console in, no matter how much money I get. I wouldn't. I'd lie it up.
You know, it's special. You can't sell that. You
Yeah,
can't
maybe
sell
I would
that.
if I was.
I feel horrible for letting my parents sell my PlayStation 1 for like $10. Fuck them.
I mean, if you give me 500 copies of Skyrim Special Edition, maybe we could talk.
Maybe.
But yeah, I still have Ocarina of Time. I still have the save files on there from my brother and I playing and stuff, and it's just a good time. I remember. Okay, last thing before I have you do your memory. I remember getting really fucking sick. I think it was the first time I ever, that I remembered growing up of throwing up. I don't know what it was, but I remember my brother playing Ocarina of Time. He was doing like fishing or something, and I was watching him, and then I don't know. I think I had some bad lasagna. This is where I had a fear of lasagna for a while, but I just remember eating lasagna, not feeling good, and just bleh. And yeah, it ties into the whole. It kind of soured the experience playing Ocarina of Time, but they just go hand in hand.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, if you throw up and you feel kind of sick, it definitely doesn't enhance the experience at all.
Makes it stand out more. So
Makes you remember it more, yeah.
There's
at least.
And then I shat my pants. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna forget it. I will fucking forget it. So
someone had some digestive issues, which is okay.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
we're in a
normal.
safe space.
Yeah, I was making space for more Zelda. Duh.
Yeah, just
But-
to swallow.
Yeah. Oh, you know the great thing about the N64 too. What I enjoyed was all the different colored consoles they were releasing and colored controllers. I had so many different ones. It was just a good time, just a great console to play with friends and games by yourself. It was awesome. All right, so that's it for me. That's my second greatest gaming memory, is owning my first console, the N64.
Let's see. Okay, so this one's gonna be a little long-ish. It's not gonna be super long, but it's gonna be a little long-ish. So, kind of just all ties together because it comes with some stories. So I had the hand-me-down from my uncle. That was the PS1. Then the first console I actually got for me was the PS2. And I remember that in that Christmas, I wasn't expecting to ever get a console because every time I would ask my parents, they'd be like, well, no. So I was like, oh, okay. So they gave me the PS2, and I remember I had it for like maybe a year or so until I had to move to the States. I loved the console when I had it, and I was super excited. My parents had to like put limits on me because I would play a little bit too much. Point being, sometime in the future, I moved to Colombia, and over there, pirating is very normal. So you're not gonna get like the Spectrum thing, like when you download something from the Bay or anything, being like, you should be careful because it looks like you're downloading things that you don't get that. No one cares over there. There's literally in Bogota, there are two. I think there's two of these places over there. In Bogota specifically, the city. So towards the north of the city, which is where I lived, there was a whole place called San Andresito. San Andresito was essentially a place where you would buy a lot of pirated shit. So you get cheap copies of Blu-ray movies, you get, and it was ironically protected by police. So, I remember that when I moved to Colombia, my dad specifically, he was like, "No, we're not gonna buy you these original games. Too expensive here. Hell no. What do you think we are, rich?" So he took my console there. They put a nice little chip in it. And I got it
nice.
back. So I was able to play essentially any game that they sold at San Andresito. And I remember that what I would do is, my parents would give me some, like, not a lot of money. It was like, I don't know, man. It was really not a lot. I think it was like maybe 20,000 pesos, which is like the equivalent of maybe like $5 a week. A little less than $5 a week.
Yeah.
And the game itself was less than $1. Much less, a lot of times. It was like maybe 50 cents or something like that. And I remember my ass would save up. And I'd be like, when are we going to San Andresito? I have a game that I really want to get. And I would just go and get my little game. I got the Sims 2 Castaway. I got Sims 2 Pets. It was usually Sims games. Because for some reason I was really into the Sims when I was younger.
Fucking Sims. Sims.
I got like a Madagascar game. I got like, I don't know, I got a bunch of different games, and I was so excited because I would just save up my little money, you know, from the week without like starving because I had to eat something at school. But I would save that little money in the week. I'd be so excited to go to San Andresito. Like my parents would be like, "Oh, we're gonna go get like whiskey," which is what my dad went for they brought whiskey and it was a lot cheaper than buying it at the actual store because they would like double it up in terms of like marking it up like twice. So it was insane. It was really expensive
Yeah.
at the stores. So we would go to San Andresito instead because that's where they imported different things. So that was really exciting for me. Or like saving up, or in general, just even when I had the PS3, I would do the same. I would just end up saving, and it was obviously more expensive because the PS3 was not piratable. But
Yeah.
man, I was so excited, man. I would just save up that little money, and every time they were like, "Oh, let's go to San Andresito," I was so fucking excited to go. I got a used copy of Dragon Age Origins, used copy of like the Game of the Year edition of Oblivion, and people were dumb and they wouldn't, redeem the codes inside of the things, and I would, and I was like, "Hell yeah, you dumbasses! You didn't redeem the code. What do you think this is? Because it was in English. You illiterate fuck." So I would take it.
Yeah.
So I would take advantage of my co-Colombian's ignorance, and I would just buy used games, and I would get the codes anyway. So it was a great time. It was a great time to buy games over there when they were pirated, because it was like 50 cents, dude. 50 cents for a PlayStation 2 game.
That's crazy. Yours sounds more like survival of the fittest to get those games. Shit.
Oh yeah, it was a whole adventure, man, and I had a blast. My parents were not too proud of me at the time, but it's fine.
I like that though. That see, that's why I think gaming is so cool on the grand scheme of things, because for some reason with video games, we will go the distance for that type of shit. It's so bizarre, even if we don't know any better. It's like we get this weird impulse, like we have to buy it, have to get it.
Yeah, you could not afford it. You could be fucking living on the street where you're like, man, I got my Xbox, I have my PlayStation 5, god damn it.
But if you're maybe those games just made you forget what was going on in Colombia at the time. Colombia's
my parents, ironically, like going into a little more dark, like a little darker place. Like I didn't spend a lot of time with my parents because they were working usually like from the time I went to school, which was like 5:30 a.m. to 8 or 9. So I wouldn't ever see them. So like I would mostly just be gaming in my room. And it was funny because they would be like, "Oh, you can't play video games. You're grounded." They couldn't even tell if I were gaming because they weren't home. Yeah. So I would fill the void that my family left me with pirated games, with 50-cent games from San Andresito.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. See, gaming unifies us all. Just takes our pain and just lets it go away. It's amazing.
Well,
end of rant.
That's a pretty cool story because that's an easy story to visualize, like you doing that and stuff. So give respect on that. You mentioned like saving up chump change pretty much for something you wanted. I did that once as a kid, maybe a couple times. I remember the game too. It was for the N64. It was Pokemon Stadium, and my dad would give me lunch money every week. And it was just like chump change lunch money, like $2 a week, whatever. Yeah. And I remember Pokemon Stadium was coming out. I remember they were showing off at Target. You got to play it and stuff. And I was like, I fucking want this game. And this is around the time where like I just got into Pokemon, Yeah. And anyway, I saved up lunch money. I would like starve myself and mooch off my friends just so I could save up lunch money to go buy the game, and I did. It didn't take that. I don't even remember it taking that long either. It's like $2 a day, and the games around that time were like $50. So yeah, you do the math. Just do 5 divided by 50, whatever. That's how many.
It was a month. It wasn't really that soon either.
I mean, it's whatever. Like I got it and stuff. It was cool as shit. I wish I still had it. It got lost in time, unfortunately, but. Yeah, so anyway, I brought that up because your story reminded me of that. Saving up bit by bit, making the effort. God, I wish I could still do that. Instead, nowadays, I just buy it outright instead of just saving up bit by bit like a fucking silly willy.
About saving up and stuff like that.
I mean, I do save up, but at the same time, I don't. I don't know. It's weird to explain.
Yeah. But like this fun fact is not really it's not related to gaming per se. It's related to that feeling. They say, for example, there was like there's some depressed. I read something at some point. Look,
Oh.
and if you ask me for some fucking source,
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry. I don't take a note of every source I look at. But I know that this was an interesting thing that I was watching, where they talked to a trust fund baby.
Oh, God.
And that the trust fund baby was like the person was depressed. Like they were super sad and they were like super suicidal and all this bullshit. And they asked them why. And it's like, imagine never feeling the excitement of getting something because you already have it all.
Yeah.
Like not having any goals because there's literally nothing else for you to achieve. Like you have reached
Yeah.
peak. Like and you were born that way. Like there's no goals you can like get to. So like there's a kind of like a stupid, I don't know how stupid it is, but it says that people like are happy with money to a certain extent. So like once you reach a certain cap, that's where you're honestly happy, and it's like 100K or something like that. Where like yes, you have a really comfortable lifestyle, but you don't have excess to the point that you don't know what else to do with your money. You still get that little like feeling of
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna save up for
Yeah.
this bullshit, even though I make a shit ton of money. I'm still gonna save because I don't make that much money. So I think it's interesting that you say that because like it's true. Like the kind of like the feeling of saving up for something, you're like, and you finally get it, and you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, growing up I did that a few times, and Pokemon Stadium was one of them when I was a wee lad. In fourth grade,
Yeah.
fourth grade I think it was. This is when I was living in California at the time. So yeah, Saint, that's a great gaming memory. I appreciate it. Good job. Way to go, kid. You did it. Okay, so we'll go through one more memory from each of us, but before we do that, we're going to read what Chibo and Waldar said. But before we even do that, hey, if you like what you see, shameless plugs coming. If you like what you see in the show today, feel free to like a comment, subscribe, whatever, like the video. Make sure you like the stream or share it, and then you can hear this on audio version. Links will be down below. So appreciate it, guys. And then, of course, Saint's links are down below as well. You can already see it. All right. So let's read a little bit of what the chat says. Remember the good old days of doing Mass Effect videos, Saint, and we got a bunch of people always in here? Oh, man. You remember that shit?
All fucking shit.
Now, just gone.
At least you get free feet.
Yeah.
Y'all get the feet pics for free. Get the toes.
Yeah. You guys get the pube hair pics. Anyway,
Ooh.
so, hey, Chibo did a Dragon Age memory, just like you were talking about Dragon Age Origins. He says, my character surviving the joining after drinking Darkspawn blood, and all that happened after my adventure as a Grey Warden. Fuck yeah, dude. So Saint can relate because, you know, she played it. Dude, fucking Dragon Age, I was playing the shit out of that on my brother's computer. I didn't have my own computer for a very, very long time. I was always playing on my brother's computer and watching porn on his computer, and hopefully he never figured it out. So
You're just touching the same mouse he was.
listen, you know, don't tell him that. He might watch this episode. Which brother is it? If you're watching,
You never know. Never know.
my brothers are subscribed to my channel. They'll never know which brother is it though.
Nice.
They're like, so anyway, yeah, Darkspawn, yeah. Dragon Age Origins was a great fucking game. Good times with that. Waldar says, off the top of my head, the greatest moment was the heroic victory of 3 archers versus 300, I think, Roman soldiers in Rome Total War. I can't remember anything quite as amazing at the moment. That's because he's drunk. Just kidding. Yeah, Waldar is a big RTS guy or strategy army dude. He likes playing the StarCrafts and the Total Wars and the Command and Conquers and stuff. He'll do streams on it too. So that's always a good time. But I can imagine that 3 archers versus 300 is a big deal. Because it's like 300 Spartans versus like, what, 3,000 Persians in 300 or something like that. The movie 300. So, yeah, pretty epic ratio there. So, yeah, this is great, you know, because a lot of these gaming memories are all relatable, you know. I'm sure we've all had an experience of owning our first PC console, saving up for games and all that, and just whatever, having fun times doing LAN parties, midnight launch lines, and all that shit, which those are listed in my gaming memories, but they're too general. Just know that LAN parties I always have great memories of LAN parties and midnight launches and stuff. not to assume for you, Saint, but I assume you've probably had that too with LAN parties and launch lines and all that shit, or just waiting for a game to come out. I'm
Yeah.
super excited about. Now, this will be our last thing for memories, and then we'll wrap up the show. My final one is Game Grumps. Okay? Have you heard of Game Grumps, Saint?
I've not heard of games.
Okay, so some of you listening have, or if you don't, I'll explain what they are or who they are. So, Game Grumps, I'll just give you the brass tacks of it. They're this gaming channel, right? And they do commentary, it's two guys. And they play a game and do commentary over it. That's it. They just play whatever game that comes across to them, and they play it, and that's it. And that's how they make their killing, how they make their monetary stuff. So, very simple, very, very simple sounding, because, maybe who fucking, they do Let's Plays. Who hasn't done that? Usually people do solo Let's Plays, or, maybe with somebody else. But they inspired me because they started out back in 2012. It was these two guys named JonTron and Egoraptor, or John and Aaron. Now John hasn't been with them for a very long time, not since like 2013. So it's Aaron and this guy named Danny. And nowadays, Game Grumps is a pile of shit. They suck. They've sucked since 2016. But anyway, back in the beginning, it was John and Aaron, and they were fucking. I thought they were so funny. They weren't fucking. Notice how that came off. But the games they were playing, the humor, and just all the jokes they were making, I just thought they were just like nobody knew what they were experiencing. This was like the big like momentous occasion when it comes to doing Let's Plays, is having two people playing games and being funny as fuck about it. Okay, at least I thought at the time they were hilarious to me. So I would follow them for the longest time, and then maybe a couple years later, my roommate and I also started to do our own Let's Play channel, because let me tell you, Saint, it was just this wave of everybody wanting to do that format of just two people playing a game and just talking and commentating. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy how many people were doing it. So yeah, we joined the bandwagon, made this channel called Father and Son. There's this whole thing where I was the son and my friend was the dad, and kind of do like these stupid skits about, or whatever. Just that was the running gag, right? And we're playing these games. And this is important to me because this actually helped me talk in front of the microphone, like how you hear me now. Stuttering, bumbling motherfucker. Because when you record for these games, you're looking at the game, you got a controller in your hand, and you're with your buddy, and you just go. You start recording, and you play, and you commentate. But in the beginning, it was hard to do that. It was nerve-wracking, easier said than done, because it's never something I've fucking done before. So I remember it was like the Eye of Sauron watching me when I was playing our first game, which was Ninja Turtles 3 on the NES. And my friend and I just had no idea what we were doing. It was just like, it was like such forced commentary. Like nothing felt kind of natural or flowy, It took a while for us to find our ground, maybe until like a year later, when we really just like, holy shit, we finally leveled out. We finally know how to kick back and just enjoy it for what it is, and not just feel like, oh my god, we gotta do something, say something, make a joke. Yeah. So that helped. That just trained me on just talking in front of the microphone, doing commentary, doing YouTube videos that you've seen, doing the podcast with me and all that. Like Game Grumps was really that inspiration that inspired me to do the podcast, do the Let's Play stuff. And I started doing another Let's Play channel like a year ago. I don't care if it gets shit for subs. I just want to do it because I have a fucking great time doing it. It's just a lot of fun playing games with friends and just commentating. Hey, you done ordering that cheese yet?
I just got an actual notification for the cheese.
Oh my god, you and your fucking cheese binge. Anyway, so I still go back to this day because Game Grumps was that inspiring for me. I still go back and watch their old stuff, their golden age stuff, their golden era when John and Aaron were together and before the new guy came in and replaced John. Because they still make me laugh, and it's just like I wanted to do what they were doing, right? Like I said before, I wanted to get those subs that they had, You know, I wanted to be influential like that. I wanted to get people making fan art, sending me fucking video games in a PO box, you know, just to play. Like, hey, play this game. Okay, and it's just like such an easy fucking job, right? It's like holy shit, you know, I love playing video games, and I got my roommate. Let's do it. But it didn't pan out to be the best that I could ever be or there ever was. But you know, it was a good time, and that's why I'm doing it again. So
Awesome.
now you have a great idea of why you know, because it was a great gaming memory for me, just watching these guys and then, you know, feeling inspired, and here I am today. Stupider than ever.
With that though, because to me, I guess the channel the two channels, because one was kind of like that like what piqued my interest, and then the other one was like, man, I really want to do that. First one was Fred. You remember Fred?
Oh God, really?
So, but not to be like him, right?
Judging.
But just kind of like the concept of like,
okay.
damn, this dude is making videos, like, and he's making people like, because back in the day, Fred was the shit for some reason.
He fell off really quick though.
And he did, yeah, but
that was crazy.
people liked him, right? And then he was
Yeah.
like super popular, whatever, for a while. And I was like, okay, that's the first thing that piqued my interest in regards to YouTube. Like, oh, people can do that. And then PewDiePie came in, and I watched PewDiePie. And I used to watch PewDiePie when he was like in his amnesia days, nice. Amnesia days. And that is what made me be like, damn, like I would love to do some shit like that. And not necessarily like gaming. Like if you look at my channel, yes, it's gaming centric, but it's not really like a let's play place or whatever. But it did kind of like be like, man, I would really love to do that. If I ever had the chance to do it for a living, I would definitely do it. And like I do it as a hobby, you know, but no.
Yeah.
Then as a living shit. Ha! Ha! Driving a BMW, god damn it. And now here I am.
Well, one day you might hit. Yeah. Well, you just gotta hit the lottery.
One day.
Wait, was that the gaming memory?
No, that was not
okay.
the game. It was just an answer to your.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. No, it's just an add-on. Sorry, I was trying to pay attention, but I'm dumb. Okay.
Niko, are you fucking done talking?
No, I'm about to order cheese. All right, so that's my final gaming memory. Now we'll do Saint's final memory.
My final gaming memory. I actually had it on the tip of my tongue, and I completely forgot what it is. Oh my god.
Hooray!
Wait, I got this. Okay, now I got it. Now I remember. It is again me saving, but it was for a different purpose.
Yeah.
So, my father had gotten me my PlayStation 3, and I enjoyed my PlayStation 3, and like I saved, blah, 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 I did all that. Then came the time when I discovered that you could use computers to play games with them.
Oh boy.
And I was like, oh yes.
My God.
So, I remember that this was like, I was like 17, and I was like, man, is it really that expensive to build a computer? And then when I looked at the
Fuck yeah, it
was fucking insane. Because like, this was pre it being super like expensive like it is right now, but like I remember that like to me, like because the Colombian peso is like 4 times, like the dollar's 4 times the local currency, almost 5. It's like 4.7 or 4.6.
Yeah.
So it's insane, right?
Crazy.
So at the time it was like maybe 3 times the currency, and I remember like, okay, I would do the thing in dollars, and then once I did the math in pesos, I was like, oh shit, like I don't know how I'm gonna make this much money. Like to me, it was almost like saving up $3,000, like as a child that makes no fucking money, right? As a 17-year-old makes no money. So I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. So what I asked my parents to do, and I asked my mom to do, was she had me enrolled in the cafeteria plan for the school, and I was like, nah. What we're gonna do is you're gonna take me out of the cafeteria for school, and you give me the money instead. So many times I had no lunch, but
oh, you were like me at one point.
I would just maybe have like a sandwich at best if I was feeling like, you know, cool about it. But I remember, dude, I was saving so much money for this stupid ass computer, and it was not a great computer. Like now that I remember it, like. I was dating someone at the time, and they gave me my GPU. I was like, cool. My father gave me the CPU. So I did end up saving a lot of money. My father gave me the CPU, and I think my stepmom gave me the RAM, and then I just got the rest, right? Or I was saving up anyway for the rest. But it was, I think it was the computer I had before this one. So it was a 1050 Ti. It has an i5 46 something. I don't remember what the exact
Yeah.
specs were. Oh my god, I died for a second. It had like 16 gigabytes of DDR3, my guy. And that shit was able to play PS3 games in a time where the PS4 was already out. But I was excited. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I will play old games on this, but it is mine, and no one will take it away from me. And
Yeah.
from that moment forward, I later owned a PS. Look, before that, I owned a PS4, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I wanted to get into PC gaming, and well, I didn't. I never went back. So.
You know, do you still have that PC?
I actually, fun fact, I had a friend, or I have a friend, he's not dead, but I have a friend who, sorry, I had a friend, you know, once upon a time, I had friends, and he actually never had a computer, so, he didn't have one, and he wasn't able to, like, apply to jobs, and he didn't have anywhere to, like, just, you know, put any documents or anything in it, so, what I did was, I took some parts from another computer that I had, and my case was all messed up, so I was like, all right, I'm going to use my case, because my case was cool, but then the parts were just around, so I was like, okay. I took the case that someone else gave me, because someone gave me an older computer as well, for like free, because he had nothing else to do with it.
Yeah.
So I took the SSD off of that, put it on my computer, then took the other parts from it, like it was like one of those old AMD FX fucking CPU that were shit.
Yeah,
they were awful. So I was like, all right, I'm not doing that. So I took all of that like out, except obviously for the power supply, and I took my old computer components and I just started putting them in. Like I taught him how to put them in.
Nice.
So I gave him that. I bought him a monitor because they sold me like a friend sold me an Alienware monitor. Like a 1080, like it was like a 140 something like it was insane, and it was like $100 because he just sold it because he wanted to get rid of it. And then I just got the keyboard, and I was like, all right, dude, keyboard and mouse, and then I just gave him the computer. So now he has my old tech. Yeah.
That's a legendary gift.
Hell yeah! But, like, I mean, he didn't have one, and like it was fucking collecting dust. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, why
what
not?
else am I gonna do with it? Yeah, why not? You know, he would use it more. He didn't have a computer. He was applying to jobs, and he couldn't do a video interview because he had no video camera or anywhere to write a decent resume other than his phone. So I was like, nah, dude, like, here. So that was his Christmas present.
Wow, the Mrs. Saint Claus came early.
Saint Claus, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Cristo.
Cristo!
So, there was I still have a PC like that myself. That was kind of a hand-me-down, kind of crummy. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's all you got, so you got to deal with it. Like, I was pretty late to the PC, owning my own PC game, too. I didn't have my own until, 2014, I think? Like, a while ago, you know, and I was in my early to mid-20s around that time.
Okay.
Took me a long time too, yeah. And you know, I couldn't afford buying a beast yet. That didn't happen until maybe a few years later. But I haven't upgraded my computer for like a while now. I think it's slowly dying, but I'm just making the most of it, right? I'm just running it to the ground and then getting a new one. Oh, excuse me, a new one. But I was, you know what? I was also late to the game of owning like PlayStation consoles too. I didn't own. I was always one generation behind. When the PS2 came out, I got a PS1 because I went mainly Xbox and Nintendo, right? So PS2 came out, PS1. PS3 came out, I got a PS2. PS4 came out, I didn't even get a PS3. That's because my oldest brother had a PS3. He just wanted it for the Blu-ray player. He didn't really give a shit about PlayStation 3. And then I finally, well, even when the PS4 came out, it took me many years to get one. I think I got my PS4 like in 2017, 2018. That's pretty late in the console cycle. But, PlayStation 5, I got it half a year after release. It came out, so I was like, okay, I'm up to speed on my PlayStation consoles now. But I like that. It's just cool just hearing, like, hearing how you were like putting stuff together to make your PC work and stuff, just to play some games and all that. And the great thing is about, like, as time goes on with gaming, at least there's never not a way to play these games on your computer or your console, right? Like on your PC, you can emulate any fucking game you want nowadays. You don't have to have an amazing PC to play Super Nintendo, and all that shit. That computer that you gave your friend, he could run any fucking old game that he wants to. He can play N64 games, GameCube games. It doesn't fucking matter. It's cool as shit. And then you can play PC games on top of that.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, PC Master Race, bitches. No, I'm just kidding. But I just like that. I like hearing stuff like that. That you gave that gift away. So that's pretty cool. Trying to think. Shit. Hear me out on this. So this was crazy. Okay, real quick memory and then we'll go. So I told my friend about this game called Dragon Quest VIII. I'm a huge JRPG nut, right? And I told him it was one of my favorite games of all time. Blah blah. I've said that like 50 times on the show today. But it was awesome. It was a great time. And the game originally came out in 2004, I think, or 2005 or something. So it was pretty old. When I gave it to him, I think I gave him like around 2015 or something. And also it took me a long time to beat it. I gave him the game. I let him borrow my PS2. And you know what he did say? You know what he did? Once he was done and beat the game and gave it back to me, he gave me not only my console and the game back, he gave me all of his PS2 and PS1 games. Okay? Like, and I'm talking about like games that are pretty expensive. If you look it up, he gave me for PS1 games. He gave me Final Fantasy VII, like as like my third fucking copy. Legend of Dragoon, a couple of JRPGs, Driver, Mega Man Legends 2, Final Fantasy 9, Chrono Cross. It's like all these old PS1 games that are, like I said, are pretty expensive these days. And then just 10 to 15 PS2 games. Oh my god, it was fucking crazy how much he gave me. Anyway, so
Dude.
What?
A quick return to that.
Okay.
Ray. You and Ray gave me games. You
I
gave
did?
me Skyrim. And
Oh.
Ray gave me the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I remember I was so sad because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And y'all were sweet. And y'all gave me games that I still enjoy to this day.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that universal feeling of just wanting to share the experience with other people, even though it's like, it was Skyrim Special Edition. You already played Skyrim a bazillion times, but still, whatever. Same thing with the Mass Effect Legendary. Yeah, I can go on forever with.
Love,
Yeah, exactly. Lots of love. I can go on forever with, with these great gaming memories, but sharing them is one of them. Playing games with your friends and just kicking ass, trying to beat it, and all that stuff. So, I hope that's it. Yeah. Anything else to add to your that PC story, Saint? Before we go.
Not really. My next goal was to build another one, and I did it, and I'm very proud of myself.
All right. Cool.
Like a big girl.
Sorry, Saint. I don't think anybody could hear you because I was putting soundboard over you. I'm sorry about that.
Nice. Thank you.
For the last 5 seconds. But hey, everybody, this has been episode 126 of the Niko Show. I have been your host, NikoTheLegend, also known as One Man Teenager, Snowflake, Rambling Idiot, and Vigil. And I had the great Saintwolvinn on the show, so everyone give her a round of applause. Great guest to always have on. She's been on the channel. She's been on the channel countless times, so she's not a new face, but she's made a comeback on the channel a couple, ever since that previous episode of the Niko Show. So it's nice to have her back on and stuff. And we're actually going to be hanging out in real life next fucking weekend. Which is going to be, not this weekend, but the weekend after. It's going to be fucking dope. And we're just going to make slutty Harry Potter characters in Hogwarts Legacy. It's going to be great.
Slutty minors. Nice, Niko.
They're 5th years. Just kidding. I know.
They're 18.
Everybody tells me that, Niko, you do know they're 5th years. I'm like, yes, I do know. I'm just being a silly willy. I'm just being a creep. So, I really like this talk that we had, Saint, about the great gaming memories and all the stuff we talked about. And like I said before, the links, down below if you want to check us out some more. This will be in audio format tomorrow. And, if you did enjoy, just like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. And then you will see Saint back on the show. Back on the show. Say goodbye.
GG.
Say
Bye.
goodbye. Everyone, go to the Game Train's OnlyFans page. Woo!